Militarily, what are they? How are they? I can't figure them out. Obviously, everyone looks, 1 billion people, that looks really scary. We see the propaganda videos, but as compared to us, what can they do to us? What can we do to them?
Well, in the strictest sense, they can hit us very hard and have a devastating impact, and we could hit them very hard and have a devastating impact. It really comes down to thresholds for pain, the will of your leadership, whether they're responsible and calculated or whether there's some other kind of toxic rationale underway. That's sort of why this is not an easy problem to diagnose or prescribe. It's why I tend to lean more towards containing the malign influences as the overwhelming strategy. I don't want a war with a madman or a large military overseas, but at the same time, we don't always get a vote. And so militarily, they have stolen our technology on aircraft and other platforms. They have on paper a very large set of weapons. And the main weakness they have is that they have excelled in killing Chinese people, but they're untested in actual combat against a tried, true, tested military foe. And so somewhat like when you see the Russians go into Ukraine and it doesn't go as swimmingly as you think for the larger force, China, its platforms, its pilots, its soldiers are even less tested than the Russians. So it's a mixed bag, but destruction is easier than keeping peace or securing territory. So we have to be very careful. They can destroy.
Okay, you mentioned you don't want war, which I obviously echo, and we want to contain them. So what do we do about Taiwan? They're building up this amphibious navy that sure looks like it's prepping for some sort of a landing, maybe after these Taiwan elections that are taking place in January. What should we do? What will we do?
Well, the what will we do is the sadder, easier part to answer, because the Biden administration has made very clear we are going to be an ardent suitor, desperate for meetings to ask for a return to the normalcy of the warm bath of conventional thinking that brought us to where we are. I think that's just the sad evolution of where things are going. Where we should go, I think, is at least do all the things between appeasement and war that might dissuade and might change the calculus of the other side. We should sell Taiwan whatever it needs reasonably to defend itself. It's one of those countries that has the wherewithal to buy. We don't need to be in a giving mode like we have been in some other conflicts in our current and recent past. We should do the same with our allies in Japan and elsewhere. Take the Cold War box away that we put them in, where we tried to moderate our friends and allies, allow them to be independent and scary and complicate things for Beijing. These are our friends, and we should be able to trust them in that. We should speak the truth. We should be sowing doubt and dissension inside of China. We've allowed them to kind of get engaged in all facets of American life and manipulate our society and polity. They bark wolf warrior talking points that echo Antifa and BLM at our diplomats. What are we doing to sow doubt about what their leadership is doing to them or for them? Their economy is crippled, and our leaders say almost nothing about it. We should be undermining their legitimacy, at least rhetorically. That's the cheapest weapon we have.